Welcome back, guys. We are discussing now the third type of I think it's the second type of the command line tools available in the bash, and I put it, although it's I think on a different position in the list, but I want to discuss it before the other option because we just discuss the executable binary executable, which are already compiled application that you can execute. Now I'm going to actually show you the interpreted scripts which execute line by line. So interpretation is more like a concept where the interpreter take each and every line and execute it, regardless if there is any error down the code. It's not going to actually throw it till it reach to that point, and we're going to see in the demo. And Python is the perfect example of the interpreted language. Like if you have 10 lines and the first 5 lines are without error, it's going to execute the code up to line 5, and then it's going to throw the error at line 6 if it has the error at line 6. So that's the difference between the executable and the interpreted scripts. So let's jump into the Linux environment and tell you one good thing, that if you know the Python, we have a good news that Python is also another scripting language that you can use to build the administration script on Linux. So it's more like Python is a universal language that we're going to use not only for our data science or data engineering work, but also to manage the cloud as well as the Linux environment. So we'll see slowly how we can use Python to do a lot of stuff, but more tools, it's gonna obviously be more powerful for you to handle all these technologies. So by saying it, let me reshare my screen. I'm just going now into my dev environment. All right, so we are back into our dev environment. Before I go and start executing the script, let me first go through the script. So you can see we have the libraries OS, which contain the functionality. And if I show you the sorry, it's just highlighting the sub process. Let me first show you OS routine for anti or POSIX, depending on the system where you are. It provides all the functionalities which have been built in Python if you want to interact with the operating system. Like you can see, if you want to get the path, which is obviously the current location where we are on the file system. So this sort of function is going to return. We're going to see later on, once we build bit complicated script. Sys is a very handy tool. In this script, what we're going to do, we are going to get the arguments on command line, and in order to receive those arguments, we use the package called sys, and then that has the function or v. It's more like a collection or list of items that you need to call to get the argument which are passing through the command line. We're gonna see now what that program is doing. You can see I'm getting the first parameter or the first command line argument, and I'm checking. I'm just getting it as an option, and based on that option, I'm generating a couple of functionalities. So that's more like, if you are building a tool set and you want to give user option, and the user select one or two option, and based on that you do different kind of function. So that's the whole concept. In here, what we are doing, if the user press 1, what we're going to do, we're going to actually get the file, because we believe if you're providing option 1, he's also providing the source and target file name, and we're going to actually execute the copy command. And by the way, this copy is different, which we normally do through the CP. I'm going to show that as well. And then if user press 2, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually generate a sub process within the shell, and that sub process, you can see I'm actually using the library of Python, and all I'm going to do, pass the built-in command of shell, and it will execute that command. Now that's the whole concept. Let's jump into my command prompt and let's run it. And over there, I'm going to show you how the interpreter execute the script and why it's different from compiler. Now, if we, so you can see I'm in here, that's my directory where my file is. Let me just show you. .py. So you can see we have file handler.py in here, and that's the file which we are which contain my code. Just another quick check. Let me just cat it, and you can see the same file is available in here. Now, Python, if you know that Python comes now as part of the operating system, so you don't need to manually install it. Same with the C compiler or C++ compiler, they both come as part of the installation. So if you don't need to install any compiler, especially from C or Python perspective, they are pre-installed while you are installing the operating system, which is really cool, by the way. Now let me clear my screen and saying, yeah. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type py, and you can see it's already part of my profile, and I'm going to discuss profile separately, but keep in mind that that's where all the variables or environment variables sit, so we don't need to type the whole whole path while we are calling the binaries. So Python is already in the environment variable, which is good, so I don't need to mention the full name. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to type my file name, the script name. Now I'm first going to call, let's call it with option 1. And like I mentioned, we are going to provide some wrong file name. So I'm going to say data4.txt and copy it to, let's say, data new.txt. Now you can see it has printed these messages without any error. So it executes the commands line by line till it reached to the point where it try to execute the copy function, which I've already coded into my script. But over there, it didn't find that file, so it's now complaining I'm unable to find that particular file. Right now, that's where the interpreter is different from compiler. If I run it in C language, it's not gonna even let me run if there is any error or on any line, right? Because the reason it's not gonna reach to that point. It's not going to even compile or execute the or create the executable that I can use to run the program. But always interpreter is different. It executes line by line code. Now let's run it again, but this time I'm just going to give it a correct file name. I know I have the data.txt, and I'm going to just create the copy of it. Now let's run it. So you're going to see the whole program is has run without any errors. Let's see if we have new file. So you can see we have the data-new.txt is here, and it is a copy of data.txt. Let me cat both. So data.txt cat txt. So you can see, and now let me copy data-new.txt. You can see both files are exactly a replica of each other. So congratulations, you have already built the copy command in Python. Now, if I want to, let me just remove. So if you want to remove any file, you just need to do rm and a file name. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to data-new.txt. I'm going to put that name with rm, and it's going to remove that file. So now if I do txt, so you can see the file has gone. But what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to use cp, which is the built-in command, txt, and I'm going to do exactly data-new.txt. Exactly the same. The only thing it's now that is the built-in command. Okay, now if I just go now and see it, yeah, we have the new file. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do just one more time, cat txt, yeah, and cat data. So now you can see if you press double tab, it's going to actually show you all the options. Normally, it try to complete the command prompt, try to complete the command until unless the more than one command names or the file name, they are starting with the same part of the word that you have typed. So in here, I just typed to data. So now if I press double tab, it's going to show me all the options. So as soon as if I press end, you can see it's going to complete the rest of the name for me. So now if I actually run it, so you can see both options are giving us the same results, right? So we have our own version of a copy command, which we can obviously enhance, and we can do all sort of development using Python language, and it will work exactly the same way or even better than the built-in command if we see any limitation. All right, now what we are going to do next, we have just run the first option. Now let's run it the second one. By the way, up and down arrow you can use to bring the previous commands. So now that's the command. So what we are going to do now, we are going to provide option 2 because we just got it 2 options. So first option is for copying file. The second option is going to list the file in the current directory, and it is executing the built-in command with through the Python. So now you can see we have all these files which are sitting in the directory. They are coming in here. Let me run ls again. So now you can see both outcomes are same. So that's the concept of another type of tool set or command line tool which are available in bash, and they provide you a lot of power to build some really powerful scripts to not only to control the operating system, but also to generate the integrations or to generate the pipelines that requires the movement or transformation of file. Because by seeing Python or by using Python and C, we have two different worlds which we are integrating with bash. So you can see what kind of power we can bring into our integration frameworks or ETL pipeline. So hopefully it will be beneficial for you. Please put any comments if you have. Otherwise, we're going to see the third category, which is simple than this one, is the built-in commands of or built-in of shell in the next video. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.